Hi, everybody. Claudia here from Hugo Coffee. As you know, we are a coffee company that supports animal welfare nationwide. And today we are with the lovely Alex Mahaloni of Wayward Journey in California. She is our partner today at the way we raise the money for our rescue friends and colleagues is we do these online fundraisers, weekly, week-long online fundraisers where we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website during the course of the week. And this week, the beneficiary is Wayward Journey. Hello, Alex.
Hello, thank you so much for your partnership and for having us today.
Well, we'd love having you. We're so happy to have you today. We're so happy to partner with you. But you have to remind me and our fan base, because I know your fan base knows, all about Wayward Journey. Like, I know you're in Grass Valley, California. I don't know really exactly where that is. I don't know what what your reach is and what your mission is. So give us a little tutorial on that.
Sure. So, Grass Valley is in Northern California. We're just between Sacramento and Tahoe. So, we're in the
Okay.
Sierra foothills. It's beautiful up here. You all should visit. And Wayward Journey, there's two prongs to Wayward Journey. So, the first is that we partner with our local Grass Valley Animal Control to manage their enrichment and outreach programs,
Mhm.
such as the volunteer program, foster program, and medical care for the shelter animals. And then the second prong is to support our community. So we have barrier-free community programs such as the pet pantry, vaccine clinics, and spay-neuter supports.
That's great. Now, how did Wayward Journey come about? Because I know you're only a year old, and you're just doing you just are doing so great in a year's time. So tell me how it came about and how your last year has been.
Yeah. So we came about because a few of us were volunteering at the Grass Valley Animal Control. They didn't really have a formal volunteer program, and the barriers were pretty strict. You had to live scan, and just the general approval process was really tricky. So there were only like 3 or 4 volunteers at that time. And a few of us just got together and we were like, we should really try to boost these programs and get some new programs in place. And so it was really just finding the need as volunteers there and just building out a team of incredible people, and then getting community support. As soon as we started this, the reception from the community has been mind blowing. It's been so exciting. We've already expanded. We have 80 volunteers.
My God.
Yeah, it's wild. And so just to see like the life at the shelter and, all of the individuals just walking dogs and spending time with cats and doing kennel enrichment, like it's really incredible. I think the community has wanted an opportunity to support the shelter for a long time, and we really just created that pathway.
So you're providing a tremendous service, by the way. I'm not remotely surprised that the community supports you because you're clearly filling a huge need in your community. So it sounds to me, and refresh me if I'm wrong, that you're a nonprofit that supports the shelter in your community, but you yourself do not do adoptions and fosters?
So we do have fosters for shelter animals. Yeah, you're right in that we're kind of unique. We partner with the shelter, but the shelter maintains custody of the
Yeah.
animals.
Okay.
So we really just have like shelter initiatives that are kind of outside of just the custody and rescue aspect. Our fosters are fostering shelter animals, and the medical program is specifically for shelter animals. We have 33 fosters, which is also just incredible. Our community is so amazing. We're just really excited to continue to expand. So it's kind of a unique organization, but I'm a social worker, and so when we were looking to start this, we did a community needs assessment, and so we really just understood the needs at the shelter and the community as a whole as well. And so we're working to fill those gaps.
That's tremendous. I mean, that's just tremendous. Are you funded in part by the county?
We are not funded, although
What?
city is a municipal center. Yeah. We are funded by the generous community. We are
None of the governmental entities that you are helping provide services that they would naturally normally provide are giving you any funding.
That is correct.
That is an outrage. We need to change that, Alex.
Yeah, I would love to grow and expand. I think we're ready to do that, and we have the team to do that at some point. But right now, we are all volunteers. All of us have full-time jobs.
Oh my gosh.
Doing this on top of that. But that's really just shows the importance of the team and the volunteers. You know, they fill in where they're needed. And I have so many people reaching out to me on a daily basis, like, how can I help? What's going on? What's the next fundraiser where I can bring a dog to? And so, yeah, it's just generous people with their time and their money.
And somebody, I mean, you obviously have extraordinary organizational skills in your organization that you can manage that number of volunteers while working full-time jobs and having the impact in the community that you're already having. That's wild. That's really tremendous. It's just tremendous. So when you have a foster, for example, say, for example, the foster animal, dog or cat needs medical care. Is that Wayward Journey helps, not the shelter?
Right. So the city pays for any intake costs. So just like what they would pay for before our nonprofit partnership. So the spay neuter, the vaccines, the microchip, and anything above and beyond that, we fundraise for through Wayward Journey. So actually just yesterday we had, I got a call from the animal control officer that a cat was hit by a car and his little leg was dangling. And so they called us. I immediately went and picked him up. I took him to the vet. We got x-rays done. He will have his leg amputated, but he will recover and be up for adoption. And so, you know, before Wayward Journey, I don't know what would have happened to that little guy. So it feels really good that we can help in this way. And he's actually being fostered by me. I'm kind of the resident cat lady. So yeah, we support with the fostering of animals while they're recovering and the medical care.
And do you provide services to the community at large as well as services for the shelter?
We do, yes. So we have a weekly pet pantry. We give out about, on average, like 500 pounds of food every week. Yeah, there's a high need for that. The requirement is for all animals to be spayed and neutered if we do give them food. And so oftentimes the individuals that come to us for the pantry can't necessarily afford the spay neuter surgery. So we have paid for the spay neuter of 18 community animals so far. We've facilitated the spay neuter of over 50. But yeah, so we have our pet pantry, the spay neuter supports, and then we also, during our community needs assessment, we heard of multiple parvo outbreaks. And yeah, so as you know, that is preventable. So we started—
Deadly.
Can be deadly, yes. So we started a vaccine clinic. It's $10 for the distemper parvo vaccine. And oftentimes if people can't afford that, you know, we don't turn anybody away. We're always helping and figuring it out later. So yeah, just actually this last Saturday, we vaccinated 18 dogs. So we're really working to lessen the parvo in our little rural community.
So when you were saying a parvo outbreak, are people's animals in your community getting parvo in their homes?
Yes.
How does that happen? Because they don't have the vaccine.
They don't have the vaccine, and it lives in the environment for so long. So even if you live in a new house and you have a new puppy and you take them outside, if the last owner had a puppy that was exposed to parvo, that lives in the environment. So if your animal isn't vaccinated for it, there's a high likelihood that a puppy can get parvo.
I did not know that. The parvo I always thought happened in shelters and rest, you know, in those institutional settings. I didn't know that parvo lives in. It's like measles. It just lives on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely common in shelters too. We see it quite a bit. Luckily, staff that are trained to kind of catch it quickly, and if you catch it early, then you're sometimes able to support with it. But oftentimes it can be fatal. Yeah.
I lost a dog in New York to parvo. I adopted a dog from a shelter, and she died 36 hours later. I didn't know she had parvo. But yeah, it was awful. It was awful. So that's a tremendous service. So when you help community animals, you spay neuter. That's kind of a requirement to be a beneficiary of your services, which makes total sense, and that's a great additional benefit. Now, do you do any adoption type events?
We do a lot of adoption events. Every month we have 2 adoption events. The first day of the month, we are at our local Scraps Dog Bakery. We have a little pop-up there. And then the first Sunday of the month, we're at Gold Vibe Kombuchery for Pups and Pints. So yeah, we do those every single month. And then as other things come up, we bring dogs to those events as well.
That's awesome. So now if I go to your website, would you have pictures of the dogs from the shelter on your website?
We do manage the shelter's pet finder. Okay. Yes, on our homepage, if you scroll down just a little ways, we have the link to the pet finder.
Oh, that's my God, those people should give you a medal. The people running that shelter should give you and your organization a medal for all the services you're providing them to make them look tremendously so good. Because, shelters want to be just like, I think shelters generally would love to be more like rescues and be able to do all the things that you're doing, but they have limited funds just like we all do.
And they don't get to choose the animals that come to them. They have to take any animal in their jurisdiction, whether they have medical challenges or behavioral challenges. And so I think that all municipal shelters should have a nonprofit partner, that
absolutely
doesn't have the resources to handle that. But nonprofits can take on whatever they're comfortable with and organized to do. So it's a good part.
It's good because it is. And it's particularly great in your instance because there's no competition. It's not like you're competing. You're both trying to adopt out the same animals. You're working together to get the animals adopted out.
We are. Yeah.
Which is terrific. That's just wonderful. All right, Alex, now let's talk a little bit about the fundraiser, because here we are on Wednesday in the middle of the week-long fundraiser. So the fundraiser began Monday morning and Sunday at midnight. And like I said, we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website, not every order, every item. So you want to get we want to spread the word and get your fan base to try if they haven't already tried, to try our fantastic coffee. If they don't drink coffee, we have tons of swag, lots of fun things one can buy. And just know that every dime is going to I know your fan base knows this, but every dime is going to the animals, which is fantastic. Now tell me, Alex, what kind of impact, for example, like a $300 donation would have?
So many different ways to use $300. My first instinct is the kitty that got hit by a car yesterday. That the X-rays alone were about 160, and the blood work and the eventual amputation. These all cost money. So yeah, every dime goes back to the animals. So thank you so much for partnering with us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. My gosh. Thank you for all the amazing work you do. All right. So now, Alex, we got our work cut out for us. We have 5 days left, which is good. That's a good amount of time to get the word out, to get people to buy, so that I can write you a big old check on Monday, because I want to definitely help the kitty that was just hit by a car. We got to offset those medical costs because that baby needs to live a full life as a tripod.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
Yes. All right, Alex. Well, fingers crossed. Let's get the word out. We'll do our part. You do yours. And we hope to write you a big old check on Monday.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Claudia, and to the Hugo family.
Oh, thank you for everything you do. And you have a wonderful week.
You as well.
Okay.